The city recently celebrated the 33rd Annual City of Destiny Awards.
Single-stall restrooms must now be labeled as gender inclusive in Tacoma.
And Tacoma has a firework ban.
All that and more coming up next on Tacoma Report. Hello and welcome to this edition of Tacoma Report. I'm Angie Foster.
And I'm Laura Proctor. The 33rd Annual City of Destiny Awards ceremony was recently held at the Star Center in South Tacoma. The event honored Tacoma's most exceptional volunteers in various categories. This year's Lifetime Service Award went to Frank and Annette Bannon.
The Bannons are the best kind of volunteers, always there, kind-hearted, and selfless. They have a wonderful, warm way about them and a delightful sense of humor. They make the work fun. The couple is a gift to Mary Bridge, our community, and the many other organizations they support every day.
For more information on all of the incredible 2019 winners, go to the City of Destiny Awards website.
The city just celebrated the completion of Phase 2 of the Pipeline Trail. Stacy Ellifrit has more on this multi-phase project that will eventually connect the Tacoma Dome Station with the Foothills Trail.
Bike riders and walkers in Tacoma's Eastside community now have a completed 2.4-mile continuous shared use trail to enjoy. Recently, a ribbon-cutting event was held for the Phase 2 completion of the Pipeline Trail. This is another link in the multi-phase 14.5-mile trail project connecting downtown Tacoma with East Pierce County.
Today, what we watch are kids on skateboards trying to see how far they can go, families with their carriages going up and down the trail. It allows us as a community that lives here to work together and get to know each other in a happy and social space. And that social equity is something that adds to health value and literally to the longevity of life in a way that no other government investment can.
Phase 2 of the project included new sidewalks, ADA-compliant curb ramps, LED lighting, signage for safety and wayfinding, and bike-compatible crossing beacons.
For all of our kids that are now going to be able to take this trail from McKinley Hill and where the old pool was down to the new Eastside Community Center, and we're all the way back into the McKinley Business District where we have new restaurants and coffee shops opening every day. We're going to get to know each other, and as that social equity increases, we're going to know something that we've never seen before. And that's not the power of us rolling up our sleeves and fighting together. That's the power of us knowing each other.
Phase 3 of the Pipeline Trail is the final phase within Tacoma city limits. Work on this segment has started and is scheduled to be completed at the end of the year.
Next year, we're going to celebrate the other section of the trail, and I'm going to talk about how can we coordinate a ride that goes from there to Point Defiance and back. And then after that, we're going to be talking about who are our friends across the country who are going to fly in so that they can take a nationally recognized trail, because it will be, from the mountain to the sound and back.
For Tacoma Report, I'm Stacy Ellifrit.
To learn more about Phase 2 and 3 of the Pipeline Trail, visit the city's webpage. Fireman's Park in downtown Tacoma is now open for public use after safety enhancements were recently completed. During the summer and fall, outreach events to find out how the community envisions using the park are planned. The new configuration of the park has created an ideal setting for tree, bench, and public art placement. The community is invited to enjoy the park and visualize where these community resources can be placed. Visit the Fireman's Park webpage for the latest updates.
Applications for the city's Grit City Trees program are being accepted. Stacy Ellifrit has more on this program that works to increase tree canopy and beautify neighborhoods.
An annual program is back and offering free street trees to Tacoma residents. With a goal of increasing tree canopy and beautifying neighborhoods through community building, the Grit City Trees program provides these trees for planting in the right-of-way.
You just apply online at cityoftacoma.org/gritcitytrees, and we review the applications and we can get you free street trees.
Community members can apply individually or as a group.
Individuals are still encouraged to apply, but we do those on a first-come, first-served basis. Group applicants are preferred, and that actually qualifies you to receive delivery of the trees, the tag row, the mulch, and the stakes. So applying for a group application or a neighborhood application is 3 households, and we want to have at least 10 trees in that neighborhood group.
For applications that are accepted, trees will be available in October. Groups will have trees delivered, and individuals can pick up their trees from the city's nursery. There are city partners that can help with the application and tree planting process.
We're really lucky to partner with a local nonprofit called Tacoma Tree Foundation. They're here to help neighborhood groups apply together, start that conversation to make those group applications successful. We're also partnering with the Washington Conservation Corps to deliver the trees for group applications, and Pierce Conservation District will be here to help people plant trees if they really need planting assistance on a case-by-case basis.
Don't delay. Applications for Grit City trees are being accepted now through Tuesday, August 13th for individuals and Friday, September 6th for group applications. For Tacoma Report, I'm Stacey Ellifrit.
To find out more and to apply for the Grit City Trees program, visit the city site. Warmer temperatures sometimes mean that stagnant air will hover over the region.
Up next, we'll talk about air quality and the effect that it can have on people. Stay with us.
The city has joined a regional effort to help inform residents of how to minimize the impacts of smoke on themselves and their family. June 19th was the inaugural Smoke Ready Communities Day.
Currently, we have an ongoing fire season, and Washington State in 2019 had already 300 wildfires as of today, and we're expecting a higher wildfire season, which produces more smoke and possibility of low air quality for our Puget Sound region. And we're asking people to prepare themselves, ensure that their apartment, keep the windows closed, their homes, keep everything tight and close as much as you can to keep the smoke from coming inside your house. Take care of your pets, of your neighbors, of your children, the elderly. Provide as much clean air as possible, and also be aware of the heat index, that you should be hydrating, putting sunscreen on, stay out of the sun and the smoke as much as possible. If you are not in an environment that can stay cool, we always encourage you to visit a mall, a movie theater, the local libraries. Find any public facility that has air conditioning that can provide relief to you, at least for a set amount of time during the day, until it's a little cooler.
In 2018 alone, wildfire smoke led to 24 days of significantly poor air quality. Learn more about what you can do by going to the Puget Sound Clean Air Agency or the Washington Department of Health's websites. Joining me now in the studio is Judy Olson from the Tacoma Pierce County Health Department. Judy is an environmental health specialist supervisor who focuses on air quality both inside and outside the home. Judy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So Judy, can you tell our viewers a little bit about why air quality is important to know about and what the ratings mean?
Certainly. Air quality is important to all of us. We all breathe and we can all do our part to improve air quality. We can do things like try public transit and drive a little less often. We can, when the weather's good and the air quality is good, we can try cycling or taking a walk. And air quality sometimes is out of our control. Lately, during these summer months, we've seen a lot more wildfire smoke. And on those days, it's important to know to check the air quality, which you can do by going to the Puget Sound Clean Air Agency website and looking at the air quality index. And that index is a color-coded chart that tells us how much air pollution is in the air. And green means good. You can go about your business. That's that day to try cycling or going for a longer walk. Yellow is moderate. That means a few people who have some more sensitive systems might be affected. It also means if you have a health condition, it's time to start really paying attention and checking that air quality more frequently. Okay. Orange means it's unhealthy for everybody, orange is unhealthy for just the sensitive groups. Okay. Red is unhealthy for everybody, even people who might otherwise consider themselves healthy. Purple is unhealthy, extremely unhealthy for everybody, and then maroon is hazardous, which means you're really gonna start to notice health impacts, even among the healthy population. And it can really vary depending on how long. If the air quality is red for one day, that's not as bad for us as if the air quality were in that red zone for 3 or 4 days. So really checking and watching that forecast is important.
Great, that's some wonderful information. And so how does poor air quality impact people?
So it can impact us all very individually, and it's important to talk to your doctor now and ask how they think it might impact you and what steps you can take during poor air quality. Because we're breathing it in through our noses and our mouths, it can affect our sinuses, our lungs, it can make our eyes itchy and watery. If you have asthma or COPD, you're in that sensitive population that I talked about that needs to really pay attention and take steps when air quality is orange. And if you have asthma or COPD, now is the time to check those rescue inhalers, make sure they're not expired, and make sure they're always with you, especially during these summer months. Traditionally, people with lung disease knew to pay attention during the winter months when the flu season was in town or when pollen started, but now we have a new wildfire smoke season and they need to be prepared for that. Other groups who are at higher risk are those who have a history of heart disease, heart attacks, or strokes. And that's because those tiny particles, those smoke particles, travel into our airways and all the way into your bloodstream. And so that's another group that we want to ask their doctor now what precautions they should take.
Awesome. And Judy, just one final question. How do we mitigate the impacts?
There are a lot of things we can do.
Okay.
We can't stop that wildfire smoke, and it's coming from very far away sometimes. But we can look now in your house and see if there's a place you can make a clean room. Is there one room where you can keep the windows and doors closed, where you could set up a room-size HEPA filter? If you can't afford a HEPA filter, you can go to the Puget Sound Clean Air Agency website, and they have a video that shows you how to make it's called a box filter fan. It's a $20 fan and a furnace filter, and I made one myself. It's not hard to do. So that's a great way to filter out that air during the wildfire smoke events. And then when the weather's good, you have a nice box fan that you can use.
Nice.
You can also do things like make sure that your family and friends all know how to check that air quality and know to just stay indoors. Have some plans in place on activities that you can do inside when the air quality is poor.
Wow, what a great, a lot of great information to share with our viewers, and we appreciate you being here.
Sure.
We hope that everyone will take those precautions, and we hope you come back to the show again.
Thank you. I would love that.
Thank you so much. After the break, we'll have a preview of the Tacoma Pride Festival. Don't miss it.
As the festival season begins to start taking shape in the Tacoma-Pierce County area, one of the most anticipated is the annual Pride Festival celebrating the LGBTQ community. This year's events will take place July 12th through the 21st. The highlight of the celebration is the annual Pride Festival street gathering that takes over Pacific Avenue between South 7th and 9th Streets. That will occur on Saturday, July 13th. It's free and open to the public. It will feature a performance stage, arts and crafts, local vendors, and even a kids zone. And don't forget about the annual raising of the Pride flag over City Hall and the LGBTQ awards presentation. For a full listing of all the activities for this year's events that run through July 21st, go to tacomapride.org.
In 2018, the City of Tacoma passed an ordinance requiring businesses, government buildings, and other publicly accessible spaces to use signage that labels existing and new single occupancy restrooms as gender inclusive. That ordinance is now in effect. As of June 1st, signage must be gender neutral to include transgender, non-binary, male, female, disabled, and should be accessible for people who are sight impaired. For more information about the requirements, visit the Office of Equity and Human Rights online or call. Personal fireworks use is banned in the City of Tacoma, even after the 4th of July. The Tacoma Fire Department encourages you and your family to attend a public fireworks display to enjoy fireworks. Fireworks violators are subject to a $2,000 fine and the confiscation of their fireworks. Please call this number to report suspected fireworks violations.
In the unfortunate circumstance where an active shooter threatens schools or other gathering places, the Tacoma Police Department recently held training to be as ready as possible. Jason Plute has more.
It's terrifying. It's your biggest fear. I mean, I don't want to even think about it. It's so terrifying. Oh, I think because every second counts, right? Like, these are the scariest things that could happen to kids or people, and I would want the law enforcement to know exactly what to do.
Active shooter or active threat. It's any parent's worst nightmare. To mitigate the risk involved, the Tacoma Police Department recently held a training session for 20 officers at Browns Point Elementary School.
What we do is we train our officers to locate and quickly stop the active threat of what's going on. It's a rapid response, get there. Sometimes it's collecting up several officers and going as a team. But we also trained in the spring to teach officers that they can do that by themselves, if need be.
The officers participate in 10 hours of classroom training the first day. Then it's on to simulations on the next training day. Everything starts with safety, where actual weapons are replaced by those that fire simunition, a paintball-type round. It provides a realistic training environment where seconds matter.
We need our police to know what to do, and that makes me feel better that they're taking it seriously and training for something like that.
Going through training helps us because it really keeps us sharp and, ready for any situation we'll face on any given day, because you can be driving down the street and then, the craziest call of your career can come up out of nowhere.
It's not just schools that the department prepares for. Shopping malls, movie theaters, places of work and worship. Basically anywhere an active threat is possible, the department must prepare for. But in Washington State, there have been 10 active shooters in schools since 1971. So it's critical the police department works hand in hand with the Tacoma School District.
We have a tremendous partnership with the Tacoma Police Department and have had for a number of years. And we know that this kind of incident is not our area of expertise. And should something happen, heaven forbid, we rely on the police department's response to be able to keep our kids safe.
Training of the past, where an officer would wait for backup or the SWAT team, has evolved. Now the first officer on scene or a small team can be responsible for stopping the threat. In an active shooter situation, every 18 seconds on average someone dies. So a quick and effective response can not only mean fewer lives lost, but more lives saved.
We've had some active shooter type incidents in the city of Tacoma, but probably not to some of the tragic levels across the country. And hopefully we don't ever, but I would like to think that we make a difference, by giving us those techniques and that confidence that they have the skills to do what they need to do.
Actually coming into the school and running a rep, you get to actually physically go in and see what you're going to do and react to everything versus, trying to paint the picture in your mind, because nobody knows how it's going to truly unfold until it happens. And in your mind, you can play it out a certain way, but you don't know what the person that's a threat is going to be thinking. So it's kind of like playing mental chess, but actually coming in here, you get to play the game.
We need our police to know what to do, and that makes me feel better that they're taking it seriously and training for something like that.
We like to think of our schools as the safest place that kids can be. We want them to feel safe when they're there. And knowing that we're prepared, they're prepared, and our police department is prepared can help provide that peace of mind that should something happen, that will respond as best as possible.
Our department's really well trained, and I think for any situation, we can pretty much handle it all.
To know that they are training for worst case scenario and that there's going to be, our first responders that know exactly what to do, that's comforting as a parent.
For Tacoma Report, I'm Jason Plute.
Tacoma's Police Department and Tacoma Schools remind everyone, if you see something, say something. If you or a family member sees something that looks like a threat, call 911 immediately. After the break, we're going to catch up with the city's Youth Commission.
And we'll take a look at what it takes to host 25 graduations in a matter of weeks. Don't miss it. The Mayor's Youth Commission recently held their inaugural elections for the leaders who will guide the commission for the 2019-2020 school year. These leaders will implement the priorities the commission developed over the last 6 months and work with the mayor to formally establish operations and budget for the future. Stay tuned for updates on the city's social media channels, website, and of course, TV Tacoma. email or call Bukoda Warren with questions.
Since 1984, the Tacoma Dome has hosted high school and college graduations, with enough seating for all of the family and friends wanting to celebrate their graduate. More than 83,000 people attended 25 graduations this season. The Tacoma Dome's John McLeese has the story.
Mike Appleby has been organizing graduation ceremonies for more than 35 years for the Tacoma School District. Despite his retirement from teaching, his passion for graduations continues as he oversees graduation ceremonies each year.
All you need to do is walk among the graduates as they're getting ready to line up and come in here now. And you can just feel the excitement and the joy of finally making it here. And after the graduation is over and all the graduates go outside and their parents and friends meet them out there, the excitement is just incredible. I love that.
Graduate Tacoma is a community-wide movement to help every child achieve success from cradle to college and career. It has reached a record 89.3%, the highest since the state began tracking graduation rates. In 2018, the Tacoma Dome began a $31 million revitalization project that included all new seating, additional restrooms, new dressing rooms, and loading docks. The exterior renovation is currently underway, adding wood cladding and additional lighting. For Tacoma Report, I'm John McLeese.
Since its opening in 1983, the Tacoma Dome has served the community and beyond with high school championships, sporting events, annual consumer shows, amazing entertainment, and top concert world tours. To learn more about upcoming events, go to tacomadome.org.
And finally, construction on Sound Transit's Hilltop Tacoma Link extension has started in front of Stadium High School. Crews are closing North E and North 1st Streets between Division and North Tacoma Avenues. Work started June 20th and is expected to run through September 4th. During the closure, there's no vehicle, bicycle, or pedestrian access in the construction area. Trucks greater than 30 feet and buses are advised to use alternate routes. For more information on the Hilltop Link extension and to sign up for project updates, visit the Sound Transit website. That's all the time we have on this edition of Tacoma Report.
A great way to find out about the services the City of Tacoma has to offer is by going to cityoftacoma.org. Until next time, I'm Angie Foster.
And I'm Laura Proctor. Thanks for watching.